So you hear about what happened in Boston, and what first goes through your mind?
Well, of course, the first thing I thought is another terrorist attack, if you will, on the United States. There were, as you mentioned, 2 bombs went off, probably 2 more that were found by the police, and the bombs that went off apparently were designed similar to IEDs that were in Afghanistan and Iraq. They had ball bearings in them, which are like plummeting shrapnel throughout the area. There's a Saudi national that's in custody as a person of interest. He's 20, here on a student visa, and he was injured and in the hospital under custody and watch by law enforcement. First responders did a great job. Even runners in the race were helping first aid with other runners. And so that's a sign of people working together in this tragedy. Police are doing what they can to make sure that there aren't other bombs. The library, JFK Library, fire right now probably is not included in this attack. These bombings, it may have been just a fire at the library. So we're not sure whether that plays into it or not. So those are some of the most updated things.
Well, and I appreciate that. Congressman Ted Poe. Ted, do you have some official authority that they're actually keeping an eye on this 20-year-old Saudi? Because we're getting all sorts of varying reports. Many are saying that they're keeping an eye on him, but they don't know if he was a victim or if he was a perpetrator. He at this point, is he being called a suspect? Is he being called in custody? Or is he just being called a person of interest? Do we know?
Officially, he's a person of interest that is being watched by law enforcement at the hospital. That's the official status.
All right, so saying he's in custody would be incorrect, but certainly he's somebody they're keeping a close eye on. They think that he probably had something to do with this or has some information on what happened.
Or both, yes.
All right, so on the subcommittee for keeping an eye on terrorism, obviously when we now have the White House, although the president didn't say it, the White House is admitting this is an act of terrorism. Something wrong happened here. And if it does turn out, now we're going to get into speculation mode, but if it does turn out that he's from Saudi Arabia, so were 15 of the 9/11 attackers. If he was earning a student visa, so were many of those attackers. What are we doing to shore up our country when it comes to people who are here on a temporary basis via visa to make sure that they're not here to do us harm?
We're using the same methods that we have been using for years. And if it plays out as we are discussing with this individual, he slipped through the system. He shouldn't have been allowed a visa into the United States, of course. We do know that, as you mentioned, the 9/11 attackers were all here, got here legally. Some overstayed their visas and committed the crime on 9/11. But we will find all of that out in the glitches in the system. We'll find out how that occurred in this situation where someone got into. Looks like may have been involved in this situation. We don't know yet, though.
Ted, are we